Hi everyone, welcome to Life Edge, because life just shouldn't be mediocre. I am Rick Zanoni, and I'm joined today by Dr. Susan Nash, our good friend and co-host. How are you, Susan?
Today's a wonderful day, beautiful weather, and we have a great guest.
Yes, we do. We have Deepak Atyam back for visit number 2. So here we go. In studio, we've got Hal Muliati. He has been having a fun time getting everything to work today. Here we go.
This show is sponsored by Relate Corporation. Digital learning development, media development, corporate video, management consulting, and more. Visit us at www.relate.com. Thanks.
And joining us in that center position of power, as we like to call it, it's Deepak again. And that's from Triple D Dynamics. So how you doing, Deepak?
Doing all right. Glad we got past some of the technical challenges, but excited to be here.
The joy of Skype, right? But it worked. We finally got you on. And Susan, can you hear everybody okay?
I can. And
okay.
I'm just really glad that Deepak is back, because when he was here before, it was pre-COVID, and we were talking about his, Tri-D Dynamics that has smart pipe, and they've been really innovative. And we just wanted to know how he's doing and where they are, because I know that they're working on a number of fantastic products. Absolutely.
Thank you for that. We have been hard at work conducting a lot of research and development at this point in time. Our Bytepipe development has been going, it's been going well. It's been a big challenge to accommodate for all of the high requirements in the energy industry, but we're moving forward pretty quickly, and we're getting through a lot of research and development to make sure the connections that we make are extremely robust. The casing that's being developed is going to meet all the strength requirements that have been derived by some of the API standards, and most importantly, we're meeting the value propositions that the customers are looking for.
That's good. And in a way, because COVID hit, because you guys were still in R&D mode and getting off the ground, it probably didn't affect you as badly as if you had been in full production.
No, it wasn't as bad as if we would have been in full production. It definitely wasn't helpful for the industry,
yes.
Which makes it more challenging for the customer segments.
Yep.
But we were able to still work throughout that time and get a lot of good development work done. So we're happy, at least at that.
Yeah, you guys broke a lot of groundwork on this. And how has it been going as far as that goes? Have you hit any new milestones, anything that kind of got better, different, changed since the things you were doing last year?
We've made some significant milestones. The next big test that's coming up in the next few months is going to be a hydro test, where we're going to pressurize our entire casing product, or a section of it at least, to showcase the use case of it. And we're going to do it at about 10,000 psi, which is the general hydro test pressure, and show that we can conduct transmission of data across our connections and make sure we can work under full pressure. Going forward, we're going to go through a strict regimen of testing laid out by the API standards, but we're making a lot of really good progress, and we're showing strength in our design day by day.
That's great.
We're really excited about that.
No, that's really good. Now, 10,000 psi of pressure, what is that equivalent to?
That is the general hydrostatic testing pressure that casings go through for our thickness and size before deployed into the field.
Got it.
So we're going to be running a gambit of testing just to make sure we can reach the general pressures that are required before being dropped down hole.
That's great.
So this works for offshore as well as onshore, right?
Yeah, the work we're doing right now is to do a field trial onshore. The generic design of it is something that we're looking to translate offshore with different customer segments as well. I wanted to also state that we've gotten interest from other parties outside of the traditional oil and gas, or even some of the unconventionals, working towards carbon capture and storage, as well as some opportunities in the geothermal space. So we're exploring some of those other opportunities right now to really understand what the right value propositions are for utilizing our product and how much it can really change the way people work right now. And we understand, I wanted to state, our big goal as we're really understanding or showcasing our mission and vision is to install the permanent power and data infrastructure for any new type of well. And in addition to any new type of well, we've also gotten interest to create our types of Bytepipe strings into production tubing. So it's in existing wells as well, where we have the applicability to utilize this technology in electronic submersible pumps, so ESPs. So we've gotten a wide variety of interest, and we just need to put our foot down and say which one we want to work on first. And so we're excited to have that variety too.
Well, that's fantastic. And I think that potentially now, with different priorities, companies can look to what you're doing and see potential cost savings through automation.
Absolutely. The goal of our technology is not just to be able to install that permanent infrastructure, but it's to enable the digital oil field of the future. Automated drilling, automated completions, automated production, and we believe this technology has applicability with those other applications outside of traditional oil and gas as well. So the automated side of this, you just need data. We don't know what's happening downhole in real time, and we're not able to get that data fast enough or using the right sensors to understand what to do with the data too. We need to process it, but also get the right type of data. Right now, the only data we can really get in real time that is able to be processed is deployable fiber optics. It's still very hard to translate that data and calculate in real time, but the big data people are looking for is not just what pressure and temperature, it's what are the flow rates that can be derived from it. Also, where's the water coming from? A lot of capital is being, I'll just say, wasted because we don't know where water's infiltrating, both in vertical and slanted and horizontal wells. If we can identify those water entrant points, we can close off those locations, and we can drastically reduce the amount of post-processing that's necessary to retrieve the hydrocarbons.
Well, that's great. So what are the next steps? What are your plans in the next 6 months and then the next 18 months?
So what we've been doing so far is we've been developing this generic Bytepipe design that has the robustness to work in a variety of applications. I wanted to put the call out there that we're looking to find partners with operators and service providers to help guide us on what they believe the best applications could be with some of our technology and our development. We have applications within heavy sands or oil sands with SAGD wells. We've gotten interest with working in offshore as well. We really need to find a customer segment that has the ability in this stressful time to be able to showcase the need as well as the capital to be able to develop this type of technology. I just want to put the call out there. We have a few different interested parties, but we're looking to select one in the next few months where we're able to really specialize our Bytepipe development such that it really meets those value propositions. So by the end of next year, our goal is to have a downhole deployment of our technology.
That's great. By the end of next year? And you mentioned there's an API. There's already a standard for this? Oh, Deepak, can you hear us? Oh, we may have lost them.
Well, I'm not sure that there are standards. I mean, there are definitely standards for pipes.
Mm-hmm. Unless the API was more for the data standard.
Oh, probably, yeah.
It sounds pretty exciting, though, what they're doing.
Oh, definitely. Well, and one thing that they've done is they've been involved in a lot of pitch events, and also working with companies that are getting ready to, like he said, looking for field trials. So I think that's their next step, is to get field trials. And it's interesting because they're getting interest from not only accelerators and hybrid accelerators and commercialization companies, but also with, say, an operating company that has a technology ventures side.
That's good.
So they're, even though they're kind of early stage, what they're doing is so amenable to the analytics that they're doing also, that it's like super interesting for people.
No, I know it's exciting. And I like when you brought up the offshore possibility, because, again, that fits.
Oh, yeah.
Has he been disconnected? If not...
Oh, there you are.
Can you hear us, Deepak? When you got disconnected, we kept the conversation going about what you're doing and some of the exciting prospects you've got.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more time?
Well, and we were just talking about, I was talking about all the interest that there is with accelerators and sort of hybrid commercialization organizations, as well as the technology ventures groups of large companies, because they can see the benefit of putting together not just the capabilities of Pipe, but also the analytics.
Exactly. And that's a big part of it, is finding the strategic that has this big need. We've spoken to quite a few of the large E&P operators, and they've already expressed interest because they have very specific needs for a variety of different oil field wells, and they have a really good idea of where the data is going to be used and how well the data can be used. And so, yeah, you're absolutely right. Strategics are a great place for us to be able to encounter some more exposure, as well as some more engagement. And so we're excited to have those conversations too. We've had a few, and we're looking for more.
Have you been working with any of the foreign markets, like in the Middle East, South America, even Australia, places where there is oil, and still there's research and there's a lot of oil production going on? Have you talked to any of those people yet?
So I wanted to actually state we partnered with Eternal Energy, and they're a great consultancy, and they've been helping us out through a lot of this development, as well as to find new market share, as well as in the Middle East. So some of our next adventures are going to be trying to understand how we can develop this technology and tailor it for more conventional wells, and with the demand and need for gas production as well. That's so good. The longer conventionals have a much more challenging need that fiber has not been able to deliver, and we believe our technology has that ability to translate over miles and miles.
That's pretty good.
Oh, that definitely is. And you'll be in good position to actually take advantage of the situation opening up after we get, hopefully, to a different stage of COVID-19, where it'll be easier to do things with international groups.
I'm also wondering, with some of the things going on in the Middle East right now, where you've got peace talks, you've got other countries wanting to get in on the peace process, and they're talking about 7 or 8 more countries wanting to get in on it, which would stabilize that market more. It would definitely stabilize the R&D part of it. It would stabilize where investments go and everything else. So there's some real potential maybe coming downstream, maybe another year or so, if all these people get on board. That could be a huge market for you, and a more friendly one.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We hope that the political nature of the energy industry is able to stabilize globally.
That'd be great.
It allows for transmission of products across different borders. It also allows for the safe business of different entities in different countries as well. It is a challenge sometimes for U.S. entities to work across borders, both financially, just because of legal costs, but also because of the political nature of it.
Yep.
So our goal is to find stable allies to be able to work with globally as well. And it is absolutely in our interest. We definitely see that there is a demand for what we're doing, and hopefully just continued with energy production domestically is our first primary interest. We are absolutely opening the opportunities up to anyone globally as well, and we have received some interest on time chains. The time it takes both going legally and also understanding the value propositions from their side that are different domestically. But it's a challenge that we can overcome, and we can really establish a new market presence.
Yeah,
as well.
it sounds exciting. It sounds like there's a lot of stuff opening up that even a year ago wasn't there, even just months ago. And all of a sudden, there's some prospects for, especially in the Middle East, opening up just some more rational thought, period. If everybody's getting along better, that makes for better business. So that could be really exciting.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so
it
true.
definitely does make for better business, and we really hope that we're able to get stable economies as well as stable relationships globally. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that sounds good. Susan?
Well, I just think that the next step to me is the melding together of the analytics and figuring out different ways to actually do the work with the information that you gather with the smart pipe. And so I'm excited to see where you go next with that as well.
And Deepak, you mentioned in the beginning that you were conforming to the API standards. Are those standards for the data coming out of the pipes?
It's a good question. This is something that we're exploring right now. There are standards that we have for data transfer and data production, and we're looking into that on the IT side. The big development that we're pushing basically is our market strategy is to start off by providing the infrastructure so our customers can obtain the data as they desire. In the future, our goal is to move towards a more on-demand service because there's so many wells that need it. And in the on-demand service, we'll need to establish more of an IT presence and how data management works, as well as how data is created. But right now, we're leaving that at the hands of our customers, and we're giving them the infrastructure to do whatever they need to. But Susan, you bring up some really good points. There's going to be a lot of data created that has never been had before. We can embed strain gauges. We can start putting pressure sensors, like actual pressure sensors and transducers, both for formation as well as for intracasing. We can start looking at integrating sensors that detect water. And we can really get a better profile of how the well is being created, as well as the exploration of children wells around a parent well. So it allows for a much greater and more complex understanding of the well structure. And we hope that this provides for a greater opportunity for EUR. We've been seeing a quite abysmal EUR right now with some of the U.S. onshore shale production, and we need to increase that to be able to decrease our break-even cost. Our break-even costs are still too high right now for us to make a profit.
Well, this will change, and I think too with the potential for analytics, and also the fact that you can detect all different kinds of things like substances, elements. I just think, especially with water, that's very exciting.
Now, Deepak, is the data being held, is it a hosting service also, or is it actually held by the individual companies?
So the first way we're developing this is such that the companies can hold it themselves.
Okay.
We want to de-risk technology in a manner where we can have the hardware allow or work in a fashion that we can unlock the data that is desired by the company that's purchasing our Bytepipe casings.
Okay.
And as I was trying to say, in the future, we want to work towards a service where we can provide our Bytepipe casings at the same cost as traditional casing, such that there's very little reason not to purchase our Bytepipe casing, and we can work towards our customers' needs, which is de-risking the technical requirements as well as understanding how much data is necessary in on-demand service. And that's on our end to figure out what we're going to need for higher EUR production for our customers. And when we have this on-demand service, we'll have a much better understanding of what types of data is necessary, how much data is there, what types of bandwidths are needed to be able to acquire the data to make real-time decisions.
So is your data just, we'll try not to get too technical, but is it XML based so that you could then manipulate it any which way you want at the receiving area?
I think there's a variety of ways we can develop it. Right now, we're developing it in some type of style like that, like a CSV format. We're reading temperature data. We're going to be adding the ability to obtain pressure data as well with unique sensors. One of the unique parts of all this is looking at some of the other applications, both in geothermals and carbon sequestration and carbon capture. In the carbon capture space, wall integrity is a huge challenge for the next 9 years to get to the goals of like carbon zero and carbon neutral. And be able to ensure wall integrity, there's a variety of different types of data that will be required, both strain, both pressure, both temperature, and a few different other ones, maybe acoustic as well. There's some things that certain technologies can provide. Our flexible platform allows us to incorporate a wide variety of different sensors and MEMS-based sensors that we can fit into the wall thickness of that pipe.
That's good.
That's great. Yep. And then you, obviously later you can automate and do a lot of things with to scale up, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, we're excited to see where it goes in the future as well. We want to leave the power in our customers' hands to customize it as they desire. The data is going to come, and we may have other third parties assist us in developing applications so they can bring into an app store-like feel, because we want to be utility. We don't want to do everything, and we understand doing everything would take a lot of capital as well as a lot of resources. We want to be smarter about it because the customers know what applications they want. So we want to be the utility that provides our end data, but also allows people to connect their own tools in string. And that's really we want to give the power to our customers.
Well, that kind of object-oriented approach is really smart, because otherwise you get stuck. Anytime there's a step change in the technology or even different versions, you have to deal with the legacy stuff. And this way, it's an evergreen.
That's our goal.
That's a good goal. Actually, this has been fun, just kind of catching up and getting a feel for what you're doing. It definitely sounds like from the last time we saw you to now that you guys have really focused on kind of where you want to go. You still have a lot of choices and directions you can go in, but it sounds like you're really focusing on getting that core product out and then, proving concept everywhere, which is great. If people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way for people, whether they're investors or potential clients, to get a hold of you?
Find me on LinkedIn. My name is Deepak Atyam. You can also look up our website at tridynamics.com. Thank you for that. And you can send us an email via the website, or you can message me on LinkedIn, and would love to have a conversation. We're really happy to get a lot of exposure after the Rice Lines Energy Forum, and we have a few different events coming up with the AAPG groups, and so we're excited about that too.
That's great.
The exposure is great, but also just meeting other people that are doing great things similar to this. It's good to be able to have that network. One of the challenges is doing all this virtually, but I know AAPG, as well as the Rice Lines, has been doing a great job trying to establish this networking opportunity. So thank you, both of those groups, for that.
That's good.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll put all the information on the show notes below so they can get a hold of you too. Well, Deepak, again, a pleasure having you on. We've had some technical difficulties today, but I think we made it happen, so that's good. And we look forward to seeing you the next time, because it's exciting what you're doing, and it's also nice to see new technology coming into the industry in so many different ways. And like you said, the future is not that far away. So this is good.
We appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, our pleasure.
Thank you.
And if you're watching the show, please get a hold of Deepak and the group there. They really are doing great work, and it's innovative, and it's going to be changing the face and future of where things go and the production of oil and everything else. So very interesting stuff. If you have any questions, you can put them down in the show notes below, or just comment on things, and we'll make sure that Deepak gets the info, or contact Deepak and his team directly. We look forward to seeing you again, Deepak. And again, if you're watching the show, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time on Life Edge. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, Deepak.
Thank you, guys.
Our pleasure.